start the recording?
What is that?
Just that, yeah.
Okay. We will start with the video first. Cross your legs, palms together, close your eyes. You are done. Slowly open your eyes. Okay, today we are going to see the remaining part of the Venus. Let's see about the Scala chart for at least 30 seconds. Then we will start our class. Few more seconds. Yeah, hope everyone had a very great look. Let's move into today's class. We are going to see the Venus in the Kanya Rasi. Before we getting into the Venus in the Kanya Rasi, let's see the 5-element principle first. Then we will see what will the Venus going to do in the Kanya Rasi. From the Kalapurusha chart, it was the 6th Rashi, that is the Kanya Rasi. It's an earth element. Earth element that is naturally it was steady in nature and the dual quality. It's not moving fast, it was steady, it wasn't in between. It can be movable also, it can be fixed also. It's a combination of the two energies. And additionally, it is the female energy. Whenever we seeing the male energy and the female energy means it would be very soft energy. So the Kanya Rasi is the 6th from the Kalapurusha chart. The earth element and the dual in nature, female quality. And the owner of the Rashi is the Mercury. And exalted is the Mercury. Mercury exalted in his own house itself. And the debilitated is the Venus. Here is an interesting thing. Debilitated Venus in the Kanya Rasi. The owner is exalted in the Kanya Rasi. Owner is Mercury. Mercury is exalted in the Kanya Rasi. First, we understand what is the characteristic of the Mercury, then we will combine along with the Venus. Anybody remember what are the significance of the Venus? Anyone? What the main significance of the Venus? No need to sell everything, at least one or.
Yeah, luxury, love, attractive.
Love. Venus is love and attractive. Mercury, it's a Mercury.
Oh, you
Mercury
want
is
Mercury,
also,
sorry.
Mercury is also comes with the love, but this love was, when it's combined with the Mars, that was totally different story. Let's go with the main significance. Mercury comes as an intelligent because
Very
he is an
intelligent.
prince, and he was in he or she is interested in
Your audio
any
is
kind
breaking,
of an
Vanita.
alternate culture. My audio is breaking. How is it now?
Can you speak for a little?
How is it now? Okay. Let's see. When I speak 2-3 words, it means oh my connection is unstable. 1 second. I hope it will be okay now. If my voice was breaking again, tell me, I will change the net connection. When it comes into the Mercury, main things comes into our mind, intelligence, all kind of the document work, any kind of document related works. And the Mercury is an young prince. We remember when we discussed about the story about the Mercury, the Mercury is the young, charming prince. He knows everything in the world. So he's very intelligent and the charming in nature, and all kind of the documents comes into Mercury only. Now, with that understanding, let's see about the Venus. Venus for the men's jadagam, whenever you are seeing the jadagam for the men, Venus represents the wife. When the Venus was in a good position in anyone's chart, definitely the wife will be beautiful. There was a one time when I see the chart, the Venus was in a very great position. And I said to him, your wife will be very beautiful. And he said, no. The beautiful is, it doesn't mean he was, the beautiful sense is a kind of, they had a very good futures. It's the eyes, nose, and the mouth in a very good proportion. And the beauty, when we see the beauty in beautiful, when the person is the beautiful, the measurement differs from one person to the person. So for him, his wife is not beautiful, but according to the chart, it was saying the wife is really beautiful. So the beautiful, it doesn't mean he should be very gorgeous person like a model, not like that. Beautiful means the proportion of your figure. It could be in a correct measurement in your body. That it was the saying of the beautiful. So whenever you say that the person was beautiful, when the other person was saying not beautiful, that's okay. For them, in their eyes, they are not beautiful. So okay, come back to here. When the Venus was comes into the relationship, and in romance comes under the Venus significance. What else except the romance relationship? Anything else for the Venus? Any kind of luxury, any kind of exaggerated things comes under. The luxury means they go beyond the necessity. If it was in the inside the necessity boundary, it comes under the moon. For example, if you build a factory or if you build a house, if you build that particular house in such a way that you build only the necessity items in it, that belongs to the moon. But if you decorated the entire thing, if you build a factory, but you decorated the entire building and all kind of the decorated furnitures, then the Venus energy comes into that place. So all kind of the luxury, all kind of the decorated things, anything related with the beauty comes under Venus. Venus, when the Rashi is the female Rashi, when the Venus was combined, we already know the energy will be doubled because the Venus quality represents the female quality more. But when it was sitting in the female Rashi, the energy doubled with its quality. Okay. Now, with that understanding, let's come on to see Venus in the Kanya. Here is an interesting point. You remember Venus depleted in Kanya Rashi? Yes or no?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Where it will be exalted?
Meena.
Meena Rashi. It was Venus exalted here in the Meena Rashi, and it was depleted in the Kanya Rashi. Okay, whenever there was a planet which is depleted or exalted, what does that meaning? When it was a depletion was happening, 0% energy was in that graha going to give you 0% energy. When it was exalted, means it is going to give you the 100% energy to the person. But here, when the Venus was depleted in the Kanya Rashi, that means the Venus energy will be reduced. Sometimes it won't be overwhelmed with the owner's Rashi. Okay, now we'll understand with basics of these two things, Venus and the Mercury. We'll see the points now. Most of the time, not most, the Mercury people was really lovable in nature. The Venus was in having a nature of loving in a different way. When both the things all come set together, here Venus was depleted, but the Mercury energy is overwhelmed, then the hospitality and the caringness will be comes into place. Here the earth element, but here is an interesting thing. Most of the time when you see the Rasi, which is having the earth element, the traveling here you have to note one point. The traveling and pilgrimage will be on gods. Okay, one important thing about the Venus is towards the spiritual also. You may ask, why the Venus is always comes under the luxury and all kind of the exaggerated things. How come it was the spiritual? Sukracharya is a very well in the spiritual. Is in when we are mentioning about the Venus, you are mentioning the Sukracharya's energy. He is very well interested in the spirituality. That is also in his mind, in his thinking aspect. Let's come back here. The travel and pilgrimage will be on the gods means this one Rashi with the earth and the dual nature, or because of that, they have the tendency, they always planning about to go for a pilgrimage once in a year or twice in a year, or at least 5 years once, they definitely go for a pilgrimage, at least next to the town also. Anybody having the Kanya in the Venus in the Kanya Rashi? Anybody? And this is the wonderful thing. Most of the time, the movable nature will have a tendency to travel. But here is one interesting thing. The earth element, it was a solid in nature, but that it's combined with the dual quality. It has a tendency, it has the urge the individual to go for a travel. Anybody was having Kanya Rasi, Venus in Kanya Rasi? Okay, highly committed to the love affection. The Mercury is when the Venus was in the Kanya Rasi, the Venus energy is depleted, but Kanya Rasi was sitting in it. They have the committed to the love and affection. Most of the time, when the Venus was not in a good position, they say this one word. If the Venus was Venus was in a bad state, what does it mean? It was in a depleted energy or any kind of malefic grahas combined with it, or malefic grahas aspecting the Venus, then they may have the multiple affairs. That comes into the picture. I don't want to include that part. But when the Venus was in the Kanya Rasi, they are highly committed to the love and affection. The love for the luxuries of comforts is comes only from the Venus was sitting in the Kanya Rasi one. But here, additionally, the love was added for because of the Mercury. Fond of vehicles, dance, and music. Mostly this based on the energy level of the Venus. Okay, when the Venus was in the Kanya Rasi, blessed with the goddess of the wealth. Goddess of the wealth, most of the time there is the wealth won't reduced in their life. It will be comes in one way or then another. Is anybody having the Kanya Rasi, Venus in Kanya Rasi? No?
See, Venus is debilitated here, but all of Venus's characters are mostly positive here. How is that possible?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The depleted energy, when this is only happening when the Venus in the Kanya Rasi. Because even though the Venus was depleted, it is all the good points. There is also the bad points was there. I will tell you that one. Give me a second. See, these all the good points when I'm saying in the only one point of view, saying that's all the good points when the Venus in the Kanya Rasi, even though it was depleted. Mostly, this all comes under the bonus Rashi because the Venus was depleted, the Venus energy goes down. The bonus, it was sitting in the Mercury's Buddha's Rashi, so that energy will be overwhelming. But suppose this is the very good situation. There was it was like we're thinking in a very good way. Now imagine you have the Venus in the depleted Kanya Rasi and combined with the Rahu or Ketu. This is the worst one. Whatever here explaining here, it comes in a opposite way. They don't care about any hospitality or caringness. They love, but they exaggerated the love. whatever they are doing, they may be committed, they may be obsessed. Instead, they are obsessed with the relation. Their love for the luxury, but the luxury will be comes when they are debilitating their wealth, they enjoying the luxury. It comes in that. So this is the point we are imagining only one very, very good aspect. What we are saying, the depleted Venus was sitting in the Kanya Rasi. This are all the things you have to remember. But remember, when it was combining along with any of the malefic graha, this point won't comes into picture. This entire thing won't comes into picture. This is this point comes only because the Venus was in the Mercury's house. That okay? Why it is? When the okay, let's see this. Venus and the Mercury, friends or enemy?
Friends.
Because of that reason. One, suppose in case if you imagine this scenario, when the Venus was sitting in the enemy's house, that same situation it was also depleted, then the exact opposite will happen. Okay. Now here the Venus and the Mercury or the friends, even though the Venus was depleted, the Mercury energy will be it was sitting in the owner's house. But that you can't depleted means it's simple. Depleted means it was a 0% energy. But it was sitting in the owner's house. There was also one more rule. The graha which is placed in any of the rasi, it will give you whatever it wants to do. That's a simple logic. When that was happening, when the Kanya Rasi Venus was sitting, then this all the good points you have to remember. But this is the only good side. The other side about was that you have to think about any of the malefic planets was aspecting the Venus. For example, now here the Mars was aspecting the Venus. Or another situation, when the Ketu was here, Venus was sitting with Rahu. This is the worst scenario. When the when the Sun was sitting along with the Mars and aspecting the Venus. This is again a worst situation. Why? The Sun and the Mars are both are malefic graha, aspecting the Venus which is depleted, means that whatever the Venus which is going to give you, that won't comes into your life.
Okay, got it.
This thing is easily understandable.
Yeah.
This is all the good side. Whenever we are listing the points, this is all a very, very good side. We are not even getting into the other side of the area. Why we need to only, there was also one question will come. Why I need to understand only the good thing about when the graha sitting in the rasi. The first thing when you are understanding any of the grahas, let's understand one by one. When the Venus was sitting in the Kanya Rasi, what is the basic thing will happen? Then you add one more point. Okay, now it was aspecting by the malefic planet. What that will happen? Or then one more thing. When the Venus was sitting next to the malefic graha, what will happen? Then when you combine all the things, that is the moment you have to negate everything. Okay, when there was the malefic graha was aspecting the Venus, then when this point comes into your mind, you have to negate that. Okay, they won't be hospitality care because the malefic graha aspecting, and they won't be committed with the love and affection. The love for the luxury won't be there. If you see the person, the Venus in the Kanya Rasi, but usually what we learn, Venus in the Kanya Rasi, definitely they love for the luxury. But if it was aspecting by the malefic graha, you have to negate this one. Okay, they won't be love for the luxury.
Vanita, explain how to know that it is which is a malefic value plant is aspecting. How will come to know for this Kanya Rashi you told?
Okay, when you are okay, wait a second.
You are so malefic plant is which malefic plant is aspecting Kanya Rashi here?
Okay, let's have an example.
Please.
Okay, now see this. Consider this is the Venus Lagna.
Yeah.
Kanya Lagna, sorry, my bad. Kanya Lagna, Venus in it. Okay?
Yeah.
Let me put it clearly. Kanya Lagna, Venus only in it. Okay?
Yeah.
Now there was forgot about all the grahas which is placed in the birth chart. Now
Yeah.
we are seeing only the graha which is aspecting the Venus only. Now see
Only.
this.
Yeah.
Now Mars is the malefic or benefic planet?
Mercury is Mars is benefic, no?
No.
Malefic.
No, Mars, no,
Malefic.
sorry, Mercury, sorry. Mars is one.
Okay, let's see about what are the benefic planets.
Venus, Jupiter.
Venus, Jupiter, then
Mercury.
No.
Mercury. It was when it was combined with any of the malefic graha, then it acquired the malefic only, not the benefic. So it depends upon where it was placed. The moon is
Moon and
also
Shukla Paksha.
Moon is half.
Moon and
yes,
Shukla
yes.
Paksha is
Shukla Paksha
benefic.
moon is good. Shukla Paksha moon is good. Okay. This much is good, right? So instead of remembering the benefic, remember the malefic. What are the malefic grahas?
Mars,
In town with
Sun,
Sun,
Saturn,
Saturn.
all Tony.
What is it?
Tondapulu.
Okay, then the moon is the
moon in half day. I mean half month.
the other half towards you, towards the Amavasya. That was the malefic planet. Okay, now let's see with this understanding. The Mercury, you have to, Mercury depends upon where it was placed. If it is sitting between the malefic graha, then it acquires the malefic graha's energy only. Then you may ask the question, there was the benefic graha, malefic graha, and Mercury was sitting in between. What I have to take? Take the degrees. Consider if it was closer to the malefic graha's degrees, then consider Mercury as the malefic. It's going to be to the malefic. Suppose in case if the Mercury was towards the degree of the benefic graha, then you take the Mercury as the benefic. Okay, now come back to here. Our example. Okay, give me a second. Okay. Now here the Mars was in the Mars as seventh aspect in the Lagna. Okay, this is the seventh aspect. Mars having the three aspect, right? 4, 7, and 8. For the seventh aspect, it aspecting the Lagna itself. Lagna is who? The Lagna is the Jataka. When Lagna, Jataka is the Lagna, but the Graha which is in the Venus was depleted. Here itself, the Jataka's energy was little bit reduced. Additionally, the Mars, the malefic planet, is also aspecting the Venus. Then the energy level was fully reduced. At this moment, whatever we are seeing here, it won't be matched with them. They are not interested in any kind of the luxury pound of vehicles, but the Mars is interested in vehicles. This may be little bit different, but they may not be enjoying the wealth of the goddess. They are not committed to the love and affection. Everything goes, you have to think about the negation. You know about when the Venus in the Kanya Rasi, then negate everything. When a malefic planet was aspecting the Venus in the Kanya, then negate every point. Then that comes into two. Suppose if this thing was hard to remember, what you have to simply remember one thing is, when the Venus was in the depleted Rashi, none of the Graha was aspecting in it. Only one thing is Venus in the Kanya Rasi. There was no aspect from any of the Graha. That's super good. It was in a good state. You just remember all of the Mercury's point, then combine little bit of the Venus energy combined together. But the story going to differ when it was aspecting by the malefic Graha. That is the moment you have to negate everything. This is easy? No?
Yeah.
Okay. Someone asked the question. No. Sorry, I forgot. Okay, still if you have any question for this?
No.
When you, if anybody was having the Venus in the Kanya, then I try to find out any of the Jataka for that. Okay, let's move on into the another one. When the Venus in the Libra. Okay, first let's see about the principles, 5 element principles. Most of the time, when the why I'm much more interested in the 5 elements, you will see that in whenever you see the Jataka. When the Graha was placed in it, it looks like very perfect. The Graha was placed in a very good position. There was a good aspect also. But if you forgot the 5 elements, everything, whatever you are saying, it may not comes into place, may not be the correct one. Okay. For the Libra, from the Kalapurusha chart, it is a 7th in the position, Yari in nature. It's a movable quality, male energy. Remember, this is the male energy. When the Rashis, which is having the air in nature, these people is always something running in their mind. They have to move. They most of the time they have the tendency to move from one thing to the another. It can be from the physical activity, or most of the time it can be in mind activity also. And because the energy is the air, its natural quality is the air is always flowing, but that combines with the quality of the movable, the tendency is higher. Tendency is much more higher, but that too will be the male energy was combined. This tendency will be strong. They have the suppose in case you imagine the air and the movable, the female energy was there. The tendency will be there, but they can be easily compromised. Suppose in case you see the 2%, one was having a tendency to move from one place to another, the strong force. But there was another person, he or she also have the same tendency. But if the female energy was there, they're easily compromised. Okay, uh, this person, the male energy person will think whatever happened in the world, even if it is rains or the sun will be in a very high degree. The summer is in the peak. I won't mind, and I go out and see the world. But this person, when the female energy person, what they will do, they will find a reason, but they had a tendency to move. But still, what they will see, what they will think, okay, there was a raining outside. The summer was a peak, and I'm not going to go out now. But still, they have the tendency that the compromise, there was no compromisation when the male energy was there. They won't be easily compromised. Okay, now here, 7th owner is the Venus. Now here, exalted is the Saturn, depleted is the Sun. So here comes an interesting thing. Okay, where is it? Where's the cursor? Okay, right. The exalted is the Saturn and the depleted is the Sun. Now we are going to see only one thing only. When the Venus was in its own house, the Tula is the one of the house of the Venus, and we are going to see the Venus in its own house. Okay, what is special about the Tula Rasi for the Venus? Anyone have an idea about it? The Libra, the Tula Rasi is the very special to the Venus. Why?
Kendra, I mean,
What is it?
Venus. Kendra.
No Kendra. Leave the Kendra. Kendra comes into picture when you are seeing the Jatakam. Then based on the Lagna, you will find the Kendra Trikona. Okay. Now what I'm asking, imagine the Kalapursa chart. Okay. Venus have the 2 houses. One house is the Rishabha, second house is the Tula, right?
That's what I meant. So it out of these two, it takes Tula.
Oh, why? Oh, okay. What it
Right.
was taking? It's take the 2 houses, right? One is the Rishabha Rasi, another is the Tula. Oh, your Kalapursa chart you were saying from the Kendra. Oh, okay. That is also a good point. Now, this one is the Mula Trikona. You remember that?
Yeah, I meant Mula Trikona. Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That why the Mula Trikona is much more important when imagine I have a house, and even though it was having the number of the square feet, but I was much more my most favorite place at this one point. Then I will imagine, okay, this is the one point, my favorite place. What does that mean? The Venus energy will be very high in that particular point.
Yeah.
This is The Tula Rasi is special to Venus because it is moon house and is also Mula Trikona Rasi for the Venus. Now here the exalted is the Saturn, depleted is the Sun. Suppose in case if the Sun was placed in the Tula Rasi, the Venus was along with it, what is it will say? And the depleted sun represents your father-in-law. Then the relationship between if it was placed in the lagna, then the relationship between you and the father was not that much good. Same goes for your father-in-law. Sun represents your father and the father-in-law. Okay, now leave about the sun. We are going to discuss about the Venus only here. Now we already know about the Venus quality. Its tendency towards all kind of the luxury, any decorated items, any beauty products, any beauty related things, the parlor, beauty products, cosmetics things, all things comes under the Venus only. All young ladies comes under Venus. Venus energy represented in any beautifying things, whatever it is. Even if you have a furniture, with if it was comes in a full decoration, Venus energy definitely will be there. Okay? Now, with that understanding, let's see about the Venus and the Libra. Now, when the Venus in the Libra means Venus was going to sit in his womb rasi. Good. And Mula Trikona Rashi also the Venus. Sorry, Tula. Definitely Venus will be much more comfortable than anybody in the world. So automatically the regal and majestic will become. The Venus basic energy is it wants to be luxury in everything. It wants to enjoy and joyful all the things in the world. If you have the Venus in the Tulara, so you may or may not notice these people's or the majestic comes in when they are going, when they are sitting, also you will feel the majesticness. And their charming personality because of the Venus in its own house, this comes by default. Definitely for the luxurious life, there is no doubt about it. The important thing, they won't be compromised here. The luxurious life is if they won't compromise on this one. If you say, okay, you are wasting the money because of this luxury, they won't be compromised because their tendency is not to compromise. It is their basic built-in nature. Somebody will say my manufacturing defect. That comes under this tendency. Never-ending travel. Okay, here comes the interesting thing. Why? Because the air and the movable energy will comes into picture. They always will have the tendency to travel. Most of the air element rashis have the tendency to travel, but when the movable quality was added into it, they definitely have this tendency. They want to travel. And interestingly, if they don't want to travel also, the life is also comes in such a way that they want to they have to be travel at least once in a year or once in a month. It will becomes like that only. Even though the Jataka was not tend to like that. Never ending travel will be the one of the quality for them. Well respected image because of the Venus thing. Large number of subordinates. Okay, these peoples will have the quality of, okay, this is the one thing I want to ask. Why does a large number of the subordinate was comes here? I will tell you the one quality, interestingly, when the Venus was in the Tula Rasi, these peoples have the very wonderful quality to handle n number of workers. Why?
Didn't repeat it? I didn't hear properly. Please
Okay.
repeat.
Venus in the Tula, these peoples have the very wonderful quality to handle n number of workers. Considered you are an employer, you have
yeah.
Is it because exalted Saturn?
yes.
Saturn is always with laborers and
Exactly. Because of the
employees.
exalted Saturn, where you will definitely will come across meet only good workers and you are very efficient and proficient in their profession. If your Venus in the Tula, you won't meet any of the workers which are not good in the job. They are very good in their job and you know how to get the job from them also. That is why the large number of subordinates will come. Excellent artistic abilities because of the Venus in his own house. Even though they take the pen, they decorate the pen beautifully. Even though they are having letter pad or the desk or they have the car, you can see the Venus energy was there. The artistic abilities is inbuilt for them. Even though the Jataka is also not able to control it because they have the inbuilt artistic quality in them. The artistic quality comes in different ways. It won't. It's not come one. It's not come under the umbrella of the decoration. It comes in various ways. They show their artistic ways in different ways. Excellent imagination and poetic ability, but this is also because of the Venus only. Venus in its own house, this excellent imagination will come. This all the inbuilt quality for them. Okay. The one important weakness for the Venus in the Tula Rasi is can indulge in the various habits because of the too much talent or the charming personality. There is a possibility. They may indulge in the various habits. Otherwise, if they are following the good principles in their life, this won't be the biggest weakness for them.
Habit means good habit or bad habits?
Bad habit.
Bad habits. Oh.
Yeah, that's a weakness. But sometimes
drinking like that. Drugs, drinking, that.
Yeah, that's the weakness they are saying. But possibly when Venus was in the Tula Rasi, uh, this is the least way you can think about it. But this is the main thing. Definitely, this will match with them. But I know this the Venus in the Tula person, but I don't have the chart. What about the quality which is mentioned here? It's very well matched with them. Anyone is Venus in the Tula?
Yes, Vanita, it's me, Nina.
Wow. Give me a second. Let me open the Jagannath Vipar. I believe I have your chart, but you tell me
Yes.
one more time, please. What is your birth date?
My birth date is 19th September,
Okay.
1962.
What time?
9:40 p.m. And the place is Simla.
Simla, SHIMLA or
HB. Yes, SHIMLA.
Okay. Okay, is this your chart is correct?
You have not shared.
Oh, sorry. Give me a second.
It's a Taurus Lagna.
Taurus Lagna, second, Mars in the second house, Rahu in the third house, Mercury and the Sun in the fifth house. Venus is in the sixth house. Correct?
Yes. Is that correct? No, in Tula.
Tula, yeah.
Okay.
You are the perfect chart. But which one is matching, which one is not matching? Because it was in the sixth house.
Actually, Vanita, I'm very artistic.
Vanita,
and that's about all I can see.
Give me a second. Yeah, tell me.
Let me just go one by one. I don't know about majestic and all that, I mean, it's a little too
Yeah, I
far.
will tell you why. You tell me which one is not matching with you. I will tell you the reason why.
They travel, I off and on, and I like it also, and I travel also off and on. And I used to travel a lot, not much now, but still I like to, and I look forward to it. And I used to have a lot of subordinates, and yes, I used to get work done. I mean, this is when I was working in professional company. And yes, I am artistic. That is there. I draw, I paint, I sketch. My line is only designing and all that.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it. I don't know about the rest.
Okay. Because it was in the 6th house, right? Venus in the 6th house, correct?
Yes.
7th, no?
It was, what
7th
is
house.
it?
Is it
7th it is,
7?
no?
7th house?
7th.
No. 6? No. 6
No,
only.
7th, Tula. 7th.
1, 2, 3,
Wait,
4,
From
let me
6.
Lagna, we have to see from Lagna of her chart.
Yeah, let me see the chart. See, from Lagna, it was 6th, right?
6.
Yeah.
We have to see from which.
Oh, you're seeing the Jagannath Hora now. We are seeing the Nina's chart. We are telling about the Venus in the Kanya Rasi, but from her birth chart, Venus is in the 6th house.
But now, Vanita, you are telling about Tula, no? In 7th house. As per Rashi chart, you are talking. Not Lagna.
No, we are looking at Nina's
Is it not?
chart, right?
Huh? Is it-
You seeing the Nina's chart now in the Jagannath Hora? You seeing the Jagannath Hora now?
we have seen chart, I'm seeing.
Yeah, you're seeing on chart, right? This is Nina's chart. And here the Venus is in the 6th house because her Lagna is the Rishabha Lagna.
No, what I'm asking you, that as per Tula, it is 7th house, no?
Yeah,
In the
from the Kalapurusha chart, it was the 7th
7th,
house.
7th, yeah. So then suppose some persons is somewhere, then we have to see from Lagna only, we have to see his house, not
Yeah.
so Venus you are told, no. Whatever just you told, it is as per Rashi chart, not based on the Lagna, is it not? So far you have.
Oh, wait a second. There was two parts in it. One is when the Kalapurusha chart means you have to think about when consider, let's take an example for the Nina's chart. The Lagna is the Rishabha Lagna for her.
Yeah,
But
Rishabha.
from the Kalapurusha chart, Rishabha is the 2nd house, right?
2nd house, yeah.
So you have to think in two ways. First part is Kalapurusha chart, the Lagna is the 2nd house.
Yeah.
But from the birth chart, this is her 1st house. Okay, forget about the Kalapurusha chart. Only look into the birth chart only.
Okay.
If there was an ascendant, that is your 1st house, right?
Lagna, yeah.
So that from this 1st house, count where the Venus, where the Tula Rasi was.
Suppose some person is similar Lagna, then it is 1, 2, 3 only.
Yes, 1, 2, 3 only. Correct. That is correct. Considered you have the Kumbha Lagna. Okay. Now the Tula Rasi becomes what is the Tula Rasi house? 1, 2. This is the 7th house. 8, 9. 9th house becomes your Tula Rasi. Correct.
Yeah.
So don't confuse with the Kala Purusha chart along with your birth chart. Why I am always telling about the Kala Purusha chart? Because you have to be combined these two knowledge. What is the house of the Kala Purusha and what is the house of your birth chart? This have to be combined together. Suppose in case you feel like, no, I'm getting more confused, then leave the Kala Purusha chart for a while now. Then look into the birth chart only. So why we have to see the Kala Purusha chart? You have to think in two different ways. First is the Kalapurusha chart, 2nd house. From Nina's birth chart, Kalapurusha chart, Lagna is the Rishabha Lagna. That is the 1st house. So that means 1st house means the Nina. Thus, it's representing the Nina itself. The moon was there, and moon's Moola Tirikona is also Rishabha Rasi. Definitely, she will be beautiful. She's very attractive. And even though I'm not seeing her, but she will be beautiful because it was in the Rishabha Lagna. And moon is also placed in it. Definitely the Rogi Nakshatra. These people that's very much beautiful. And from this is the moment when you are adding this point. Just think about the Kala Purusha. What is the house? It is the 2nd house. What does the 2nd house represent? It represents your family, money, right? Then you combine the knowledge with the birth chart. But if you think this kind of the layering was too much for you, leave that now. Leave the combining the Kala Purusha chart along with the birth chart now. Now concentrate only on the birth chart. Don't get confused. This much clear?
So what am I saying? Conclusion is whatever you are told characteristics of that Venus in particular Rashi is based on the birth chart we have to consider. Suppose person has got the person has he has got in the 7th house he has got Venus. Then as per birth chart, then it is whatever is he telling. Correct it is? That one? That what it is?
Based
You want to
on the birth chart only.
Birth
Okay,
chart
for Nina, it was the 6th house.
Yeah.
Considered if I'm having the Venus in the Makara. Okay, now let's have the example. Give me a second. Now I understand what is your doubt. Okay, let's imagine I have the Tula Lagna. Let's go with the Simha Lagna. And I have the Venus
Suppose-
in the Tula Rasi. So what is the house? What is the house of this one?
From
You are
Simha, 1,
Simha
2, 3.
Lagna. This is your first house.
Yeah.
Second, and this is your third house. That's
Third
it.
house. Third, yeah.
So now imagine this.
Third house.
You have the Venus in the Tula, but my Lagna is in the Mithuna Lagna. What is the house?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fifth house.
This is the fifth house, right? That's the thing you have to think about.
Oh.
You remember when we are starting the combination of seeing the Venus in the Libra or the other planets? I ask you to do one homework. Now I also will tell you how you do this homework. Now we are seeing the Venus in the Tula. Okay. Now we are seeing the Venus in the Tula. We are not mentioning the house now. Now imagine this one. Now the Lagna is the Tula itself. Tula Lagna. Venus was in it. So that means Venus was representing the Jataka itself. Then this quality will definitely be in place. Now, this is the one twisting point here. Now you have the Kanni Lagna. And what is this? The Tula Lagna will become your second house, correct?
Second house, yeah.
The second house representing your family, your money. So you have to combine that whatever the property of the second house with this one, with the Venus characteristic also. You have to remember all these things. All this point will come into picture. Okay, how you can easily remember? If you know the significance of the Venus in your mind, this will become easily for you.
One more thing, Vanita. These characters, what you have told, is applicable for both male and female?
Yes. Both. This is one. Okay, that is what from the initial itself I'm saying. When I mentioned the male and the female, it's about the energy only. Rashi, when there was a graha which is placed in one part of the galaxy, the energy is the male energy, means it was a strong one. These peoples are not compromised easily. When there was a female energy, these peoples can compromise. Okay, the energy will be soft. They are not forceful. They are very soft. If you are explaining to them, they will hear you. They will try to change them also. But if they have the male energy, they may hear you. Okay, but they don't be compromised easily because their energy is strong. It's their nature. Okay. That's why I asked you to do the homework when the Venus was in all. Okay, now we'll see. This is the Venus still in the Tula Lagna, but you have in the Mesha Lagna. What is the house of this?
Mesha Lagna.
7th house, right?
No, from Mesha is
7th house, yeah.
Mesha Lagna, and the Venus was in the Tula Rasi.
Oh, 7th house.
Okay, then if your male was seeing this, the Jataka is the male, then the 7th house is representing your spouse. The Venus is also placed in it. And when the Venus was not respected by any of the malefic graha, definitely your wife, the Jataka's wife will be beautiful in nature.
I see.
Okay, then like that, I ask you to do the homework for all the 12 houses. Now, if you imagine this one, the Lagna was Vrikshaga. Okay, then what is the house of the Venus?
12th house.
12th house, right? Okay, here is an interesting one. That is what I also see in the Nina's chart. When the Venus was in the 6th house, 8th house, or the 12th house, the energy was little bit hidden. They won't get the full benefit of the Venus. Okay, what does that mean? They definitely have the excellent artistic ability will be there. but they may not be reach the number of the people they imagine. Or some people you see, even though they are very average in artistic abilities, but they reach the number of the peoples. Because the graha which is placed in the good position. What is the good position means? Except at the hidden location. 6, 8, 9, 8, 12 means it's in your peripheral area. The energy was in your peripheral. That's why you are not getting the full energy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Vanita, one question. So for Nina's chart, Venus is in the 6th house. 6th house is meant for enemies, right? So, if that is the case, all those qualities that you have listed, it is not for self.
It is not for the self. It is
Yeah.
not for the self.
Right. So how do I now map now all those qualities taking into account the 6th house, which is for enemies. Now, how do I map those qualities?
Oh, yes, that's a good point. Okay, now see, this is the 6th house. This is the 6th house. And the Venus was in the Tula Rasi. But why when the Venus was in the Tula Rasi, when Meena was saying, okay, most of the thing which is matches with me, that we'll see that in a different classes. That is a different story. But it was in the 6th house. Venus was placed in it. 6th is the hidden house. There is no malefic graha in it. Only one benefic graha only. Okay, what is the 6th house is meant for? It is your disease. What are the other things?
Enemies, diseases,
Enemies,
accidents, obstacles,
Loans.
obstacles.
Okay, when let's see about the obstacles only. If there was the 6th house is hidden and only one benefic graha was there, your obstacles you can overcome easily. Because this Venus, which is in the Tula Rasi, it is in its own house. It won't be give harm to you. The obstacles will be much more reduced. Okay, now coming to the disease. Okay, when we remember we start with the Mesha is the head, and this is the face, arms. This comes in the abdomen
and digestive system and
digestive system, and the Kanya comes under it's a lower abdomen, right?
Yeah.
And the 7th one is the thighs, correct? If I'm not wrong.
Kidney, lumbar region.
Okay. Then they may have the problem in that area when the graha when there was a graha in it, but that too, it was bit compromised only because the Venus is the benefic planet. It's in the hidden position. Energy will be there. Whatever energy the Jataka will be receiving will be compromised. But you won't be getting into any kind of the serious situation. Is that true for you, Nina?
Yes, more or less. I mean, as far as diseases was there, in 15, I had a cyst in my gallbladder and it was suspected for cancer. And they operated, they cut the stomach, but I didn't have cancer, so I got out of it. But I mean, it was very, it was the size was crucial, and 1 centimeter becomes crucial. So it was 9 mm. It was just borderline, and they were suspecting. So the doctors didn't do laser; they cut it, and there was no cancer, which was like hote hote bach gaye types. So that was one. And secondly, I don't keep too well. I'm a little frail in my constitution, but otherwise I'm okay. In general, I'm just talking in general.
Yeah, because
so that was one thing which we can say that it could have been very, very bad, but I managed to get out of it.
Because your 8th house was good, looks like good. Okay, one more thing. The 6th is the preliminary stage, and the 8th is it's the stage.
The final.
It's a kind of a final, you can say.
Final, yes.
Whatever it is going to happen in the 8th, it will be. You can see that in the 6th itself. It's a preliminary round for you. Or whatever you in your budget. I don't want to start this now because it's too early. Okay, I will leave this one point here. The 6th house will tell you about the preliminary stage of any of that. If you have an enemy, it will tell you the preliminary stage. If you have the disease, it will tell you the first round of in your life. you may consider it as a preliminary or first round. It is an initiation also. So sometimes it will comes and goes away from your life completely, but that may also continue if it was the severe, the graha energy was not good, and it's aspecting by all kind of the malefic graha, then it will pass down to your 8th house also.
Okay.
So
That we
6th
will
means
see.
all for Kalapurusha chart only, no? 6th house. As per
Mm,
Kalapurusha.
okay.
And
Here you
Lagna?
are confused. Whenever you're seeing the birth chart, take a knowledge of the Kalapurusha chart behind your mind only. Don't compare with
Oh,
the birth chart. Okay, why I
okay.
always comparing up against the, okay, now I will tell you the reason why. See, whenever you are thinking about, whenever you're seeing any of the birth chart.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. And you think the Kalapurusha chart behind your mind only. Don't come in to combine along with this because this may confuse you. Okay. In the Kalapurusha chart, it was the first house, but the Nina's birth chart was the second house. Why it is? Because Nina's birth time was in the Rishabha Lagna only. Kalapurusha's birth chart is in the Mesha Lagna. Both the Lagnas are different, right? But
Yes, yes.
why we have to be combined with the Kalapurusha chart? Because we understand that is the rishis and the sages are saying this is the starting point of the galaxy, the universe. You start from the Kalapurusha chart from the Mesha, so we follow that. But when the Nina was born, it was in the Rishabha Lagna. Okay, now why we have to compare against that? Consider this is the Kalapurusha chart. This is the second house, but Nina's it was the first house. When you are thinking about, when you are seeing the birth chart for the Nina, is the Rishabha Lagna, Moon Graha was in it. This is also a second house of the Kalapurusha chart. This only your additional point, supplement information only. If you are getting confused with this, leave this for a while. But later point in time, you can combine this knowledge along with it. Suppose whenever you're seeing the chart, you feel like, oh, it's overwhelming for me and I can't concentrate on the birth chart, leave this knowledge now. And additionally, when I ask you to read the chart, I ask you to think about the Kochara also. That time even more getting confused.
Oh, yeah.
So that is why I ask you to see the planet every day, the Kocharam of the planet, the planetary motions every day.
Moon, position of moon every day.
Yeah,
Moon.
in the planetary motions every day you are seeing the moon, right?
Yeah.
Okay, remember me? Oh my God, I thought to say this thing. Okay, I'll tell you now.
I have one small question, Vinika. Why the result is, I would say, not that much for me, is because it's the 6th house. Is that what we are saying? It's a Kalpurusha 6th house. So, which is not a very good house. It's one of the.
There was no good and the bad house. Okay,
No,
the one thing
the energy is peripheral. Let's put it
yeah,
that way.
you are not getting that sufficient energy from
Full
that.
energy.
And that is the house which is representing you what kind of the illness you will receive in your body. If the 6th, wherever in your birth chart, if you remember, we saw that in the next week itself, I will come with the body parts also. Remember, this is the head, this is the face, this is
Yes.
we will see all kind of the parts, right? So everybody will have the 6th house different. For your Rishabha Lagna, the 6th house becomes the Tula. Consider the one person was having the Dhanu Lagna. They have the Rishabha Rasi as a 6th house. So they may have some kind of the problem in that place. Any kind of the sinus problem or any kind of the congestion in the air, they may have it. So that kind of the disease you have to compare against you. But you may ask him, I don't have any of the disease, but you are telling you may have. When that kind of the situation will come, one thing is you will come out of the Dasha Buddhi already itself in your life, or it may come in you in the future when the Dasha Buddhi was happening. So when it was happening, that's totally fine. That's lucky. But if you're already come across, if that the Dasha Buddhi was finished, don't worry about it. This is how whatever the effects which is already finished. You are done. You are going to live your happy life. But
Vanita,
why
my
I
class.
even if you
Vanita.
noticed one thing, one minute. Even if you noticed one thing, I will most of the time I will revise still here and I won't come into the 6th house. And I will ask you to go for study from this house to the 12th house. There was a reason behind it because I can tell the 6th house now itself, but this is not the right point. Sometimes why I will tell you, maybe you people are very courageous in nature. When I study the astrology, I feel like my heart will come out and I can hear the beating sound also when I read about the 6th house. So I felt that when the preliminary stage was happening, maybe we don't need to talk about the 6th house much, but when you are matured enough in the learning, we understand everything was happening under the grace of the grahas, under the gurus and the gods, and the energy was combined in. When you had that kind of the maturity level, when that will be definitely will happen when you are studying continuously. So that point in time, we can casually talk. Okay, this is the Venus in your 6th house. This body part will have your problem. That point in time, your heart won't come out, and you may not need to hear your heartbeat. That's my intention. But if you are
Vanita, small, final conclusion, bit I'm getting confused now. Suppose we got a chart, Rashi chart. As per that, you say first, you just Venus in first house, second or like that. That we follow. Now you are come to Tula. That means as per the, suppose somebody native has got Venus in Tula, irrespective of Lagna, that is to be considered, or irrespective whether you have to connect with Lagna. What suppose a Rashi chart is there. His lagna is a different lagna, but the 7th house, suppose in the chart he has got Venus, say, then that will be applicable, whatever that you said.
Oh, wait.
So
Okay, your
just
question is when the Venus was in the 7th house, whatever I said was correct. Suppose in when there was a different lagna, the Venus was in the 7th house, correct? That is the question. Okay, what is the
what I'm
7th
asking,
house?
whether we have to base, suppose take in the Rashi, somebody's native Rashi chart, lagna will be different. Let us consider it is a Sigma lagna. And his Rashi is Kanya Rashi, some example. And if that 7th house, if Venus is there, then the same characters will be available, applicable.
Oh, okay. You are asking. I'm having the Kanya Lagna, and the 7th house is the Pisces.
Simha Lagna, Kanya Rashi. Let us consider.
Simha Lagna. Okay, wait a second. Simha Lagna. Okay. Then
Kanya Rashi.
Okay, then the moon will be here. Okay.
Then suppose 7th house Venus is there.
You're having the 7th house Venus. Okay.
I don't have mine. Just I'm asking example.
I'm asking. Any lagna. Okay, if your 7th house representing your spouse, correct?
Yeah. Same correct. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Whether it is the men or women, your 7th house representing the your spouse only, your relationship, your partners only, your business partners, any kind of the partners in your life that is represented in the 7th house. If the Venus was in it and you are having a 7th house, here comes the interesting thing. You have to see whether the Venus was in a friend's house, whether Venus was aspected by the malefic graha or the benefic graha, then it's in the friend's house or enemy's house. Venus was now the Venus was sitting in the Saturn's house. Venus and the Saturn.
Yeah.
Venus and the Saturn are friend or enemy?
Enemy. No, Saturn.
Friends.
Friends only, right? No?
Venus and Saturn are friends.
When the Venus was sitting in the friends, and imagine it was aspected by the benefic graha, definitely the wife will be beautiful. Okay, the wife will be beautiful means it's not like that's why I started in the initial part of the session also I told you the beautifulness when they are seeing the proportion of the body parts is in a correct state. The beauty it's different from one person to the another person.
Okay.
When you're seeing the person is the beautiful means the proportion is correct. The eyes and the nose and the mouth and the ear, the neck portion.
Features.
The future that is correct. That's why they mentioned it is your husband is beautiful. They mentioned the wife is beautiful. But when you ask the wife and the husband, they will say no. It will be like that only. But when they use see that what is the meaning of the beauty goes like this. Even if you really wonder in your chart itself, you can easily understand how much the measurement of your nose, measurement of your eyes, measurement of your vision. Okay, when it comes into the vision, okay, right side is your sun, left side is your moon, but the distance of the eye side is the Venus.
Oh.
So when there was an Venus was not in a good position, definitely you will have wearing the specs like me. Okay.
Vanita, just I want to 2-3 questions, general questions. Can I ask you? Just I'll take 2 minutes. Can I ask you? Now this course now we have started in the month of last June. So this June we are completing one year. So what is syllabus for how long it will be? The course will be there.
It's 3 years, but my speed. I thought to make it as a very fast because it was the 3 years because we are not yet finished the first year syllabus also. We'll finish it. Don't worry.
Do you have something 30% coverage? 30% you done?
I will tell you.
No, approximately I'm asking you whether is it right.
Approximately, we are not even forward 50%, less than 50% only.
And one more question, madam. The last question. This, you know, in TV news, no, they tell this predictions of the day every day. They say Simha Rashi, Simha Lagna, Kanya Rashi, Kala. It is different, no? How it can be? Simha Rashi may have different different Rashi. Kanya Lagna may have different Rashi. How it will they will say Simha Rashi, Simha Lagna, Kanya Rashi, Kama Lagna? It is the prediction they give. Is it correct? What is that?
Okay, what is the Rashi for Nina's chart? You're seeing her Nina's chart now, right? What is the Rashi for her?
It is where is moon? Moon is in Vrishabha.
Vrishabha, right? Then when the people so there is a 2 ways. Mainly there are the many ways, but there was 2 ways of predicting. One is based on the moon, one is based on the sun. When your prediction is based on the sun, then it's based on the lagna based prediction. When the prediction is based on the sun, it is a lagna. When it is based on the moon, it is based on the rashi. That's why they say why they are giving importance to the moon, because the moon is every day. They are exactly combining the knowledge of the Gochara and your birth chart combined together. They will tell you what they are trying to say here was very interesting logic. In the Gochara, the moon goes around all the 12 rashis, right? Based on that, they know the Gochara. Anybody can see the planetary motions every day. So based on that, when the moon was in the Rishabha Rasi, that means when the moon goes over the Mesha Rasi, considered for his Nina chart, imagine the moon was in the Rishabha. So that means the Gochara moon, the Gochara Chandran, is going on the birth chart moon also. Moon over moon. So what that will be the result? So that means the moon is your Rishabha is your Rasi. This is the point. The moon is also in the planetary motion now. Today's light, the moon is also going on the Rishabha Rasi. Then what will be the effect? That's why most of the time this prediction is based on the Gochar. That definitely comes into at least 90% it will come true. Why? Because they are predicting based on the day-to-day life. One day, every day, the planetary motion of today, and they're combining against with the Rashis. If the moon was in the Rishabha Rashi, if the moon was in the Mithuna Rashi, because the moon is going to move to the next Rashi, which is Mithuna. So what will be the happen? Because the moon is going to touch the next Rashi. What it is going to happen? Based on that, they will give you the prediction.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I take a lot of time.
That's okay. Okay, one more interesting thing, because I thought to finish.
Vanita, it's almost 3:40.
Yeah, only one more. Okay, whenever now you take this, I will finish it here. Everybody have the habit of, I don't know, everybody was having habit of, if you have the habit of journal writing, make it as a different type of the journal writing. Take the planetary motions of the today and paste it on the one side. Okay, considered this is the journal. Okay. Oh, I'm not sharing this one. Okay, I will finish it now in 1 minute. Okay, consider this is the journal. Okay, on one side you will write. This is the planetary motion of the today. and see where the moon was. Consider the moon was in the Pisces, in the Meena Rashi. Imagine this is the planetary motion of today. This is my assumption. I don't know where the moon is today now. Now, based on the moon, you have to write your emotions only on your left side. Okay. Then see what is the moon is on which Rashi. Then continue this practice for every day. You will see one pattern on your mood. You will definitely find the pattern of your mind. But you don't you should not write your stories for the everyday. You have to write your emotions only. You have to write only the emotions. It will all part of your extra descriptions. Leave everything. Take only the emotions and write it down. Even if it was one line, it is totally fine. If you feel like this is that day, I feel happy. Make it that as the emotion. And if you can able to make it number of the lines, write it down, but give importance to your emotion. Make it as this in a horoscope journal. This will be a different understanding of yourself.
Okay.
Try and see if it was work for you. It's beautiful. Okay. If you have any doubt, we can still discuss on the next week starting itself.
Thank you. Thank you, madam. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Vinita.
Thank you. Bye.